Alright, let's therefore head into the second match of today. This is gonna be a second game already, as they started way sooner than what they actually scheduled for. So this is already game number 2 here. No, and we are gonna be therefore not gonna be spoiling the result. I already know it, but gonna be learning. After this is gonna be therefore done, you can also watch this match at Age of Empires Italia in Italian, obviously, for Italy C versus Switzerland C. No, and therefore right now it's going to be the Italians are going to be Elefante. Well, this is gonna be some fun for me. Elefante Effervescente. Okay, so Elefante simply. It's gonna be a red player here all the way to the south for Italy C. He's gonna be playing there for Portuguese. Then you do have in the pocket Castori, or the 12th Castori from MLT clan. He's gonna be playing the Frenchies. Other pocket will be Fausto from Naps. That's gonna be Sicilian, and the last player will be OS the King at the end, and he's gonna be playing with the Ethiopians. So somewhat similar to what we have seen in the previous match between Norwegians and Danish. Against him is gonna be standing gggmeuer, and he's gonna be from Switzerland C, playing with the Vietnamese. He's gonna be fishing for potentially that piggy here, but even getting, for example, a goat is gonna be somewhat useful. That's already 100 that your opponent doesn't get, and you do on the other hand. No, and then he's gonna be having pocket hoiduloi. He's gonna be playing with Lithuanians as well here, and the next pocket will be Pet Star from Burgundian clan, playing with Burgundians, and the absolute last player on the game to be introduced is gonna be in grey Makrobean, and he's gonna be playing with Dravidians. That's not that much of a common civilization to be used on Arabia, on some kind of flanks and whatnot, so we'll see how well it's gonna be working out in the end for him. Seems like the piggy is gonna be quite a bit safe, and they're actually really close to each other, King and Meuer. Can see right now, literally almost within a screen, as unfortunately that was a mistake right now by Meuer with the piggy. Yeah, needing to be having a bit long line of sight on the villager. That's gonna be about the same situation right now for the King. Also getting the second boar, or first boar, right? Yeah, it's gonna be only the first one. We had only 4 minutes of game time currently here. And this dude, he's gonna be coming exactly where? Coming for the walls, apparently. Yep, trying to drop some houses, as it seems like it. Also the gold is gonna be a bit tricky for him. It's not entirely the best position. Having right now also the hill, no, it kinda depends. Gonna be fairly okay defensively, he's gonna be of course first here. But whoever is gonna be first around it is gonna be having better time. Theoretically, even something like a tower at this position wouldn't be such a terrible thing either, but we'll see if he's gonna be forced into it or not. So on the other hand, we're gonna be right now ready with the piggy there for second, already taken by Meuer from Switzerland C as well, trying to make the plays here at space for the board to be getting under the TC, exactly as it should be done, so that he can be avoiding, well, having to morsel it and cut it down and slaughter it somewhere outside for a bit more inefficiency. All the way to the south, doesn't look like that Elefante Effervescente is going to be therefore having too much of a luck himself in getting the enemy piggy. They seem to be all fine, you can say nice pushing in. Or did he? 1 and 2. Yeah, I think it's actually all quite a bit fine. Unless there's gonna be like a third piggy somewhere waiting for us. But it doesn't seem that it is. So therefore you can say now some defensive spot for Effervescente is gonna be therefore definitely in order. And he's unfortunately also going to be having quite a bit of a challenging gold mine position. That is not a great spot at all either. That's also gonna be a bit of a problem and situation. Whereas, well, all the way on the other side, we have seen that the gold mine was on the hill as well. So that seems to be a bit of a theme here for this version of Nations Cup Arabia. But, well, scouts are gonna be murdering each other. Seemed like that also there was some kind of opportunity for balling with little forest being nearby. Otherwise, of course, since it's the premiere day with the matches for the Nations Cup 2023, this is also going to be the first round of the qualification between Italy C and Switzerland C. Again, this is already a second game. I've already played the first one. I have draft only for the Civilisations, so that's something maybe that you can actually look at, as there doesn't seem like there's going to be anything too interesting currently as they are advancing into the next ages. We just blue taking a lot longer here, it looks like, Mr. Meuer. And the villages, and he's gonna be still having how many clicked in? 1. Looks like 1 clicked in. Not gonna be anything too much here. So I guess let's therefore have a look maybe on the draft, possibly. So that we can understand the civilization choices, if there is something a bit unorthodox or weird. Okay, let's take it back, as they're gonna be apparently then fighting for a moment. So let's maybe look at that a bit later. Not to miss any kind of live action. Okay, the hit points are gonna be quite a bit clear. It's right now 30 against currently 33. But considering that he's gonna be advancing quite a bit faster into the feudal age, maybe there's gonna be a bit of a problem coming out of it for Meuer. Even though he's right now gonna be giving up on that, maybe also inspired by seeing the other players already advancing, so wants to be careful in case that were also the case for Orange, and it will be, as we already do know. No, and Fausto already gonna camp next to his teammate, just in case somebody was having some thought of visiting the berry gatherers, which possibly could have been maybe hoiduloi, who already is around with his scout. Okay, so that's gonna be quite an easy fight this time for Fausto. Basically already having the hit point advantage. To the top flank, that will be apparently just being a bit too motivated right now, King, and getting too close to the TC here for the time being. So all the way to the south, that's going to be just quite a bit of an active beginning here by the teams, just going for after every single village that they can find, utilizing the scouties. So basically this is going to be unfortunately costing Castori though quite a lot of HP, and gonna be making his scout cavalry quite a bit useless at this point. And by this time, but yeah, well, it's gonna be classic Arabia, so therefore double archer ranges are to be expected, some spearmen on top of it. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be anything too specialized. Just really very interested what's gonna happen to Meuer, because he really did go for a later advance. You can see it now, even 23 villages now, so wasn't as fast as the others. Went for the 21 build, which we have already seen in some of the kind of like show matches that were already presented and played before the tournament started, and it didn't entirely lead into too much of a great result. But yeah, well, depends, I guess, on the team cooperation and of course how used you are to that strat. Because otherwise it's entirely uncommon, right? Even on the high levels, that's something that really does happen, as we do have a really good team ball though. Already prepared between yellow and red, so they're gonna be having some, no, kind of easy time. Nobody should be bothering them too seriously much. So let's see if that's gonna be therefore turning into some kind of like chances in the offensive. As we do have therefore 6 versus currently 4 archers, only 4 red. But obviously he's gonna be having the defender's advantage, and therefore that's right now the last couple that he was needing for the same numbers. No, and then we obviously do not have entirely the matching number of scouts. It's gonna be only on the way, the next one for a pet star. So it feels to me that currently, no, the Italians should be quite a bit fine to maybe even be a bit more braver and go into the offensive. But yeah, well, just obviously... Oh, can I actually... Yeah. I was going to say if maybe it was just a normal scout, then being a bit more careful, because the hit points not necessarily are enough against the archers in the feudal. But nonetheless, with the Frank, could have been actually a bit more adventurous and trying to lower rather the numbers for Makrobean here. But didn't therefore happen, as otherwise on the other side that's looking like that hoiduloi is gonna be trying to get into, well, some kind of bullies maybe here to the top, and especially of course murdering the waller. Dangerous job being on the wall duty. And to the south, no, yeah, finally. Okay, so finally they are thinking this is gonna be a good time. 5 versus currently about 7, so still a good spot right now for the Italians. 10 versus about 10, with 2 more, so that's 12 there for Makrobean. For the Switzerland Sea. This is kind of a bit of an interesting little, kind of like cat and mouse. Because definitely the Italians were a bit better off, but at this point I'm fairly afraid that they're actually giving a bit too much time to their opponents to kind of catch up on the numbers. As we do see also right about now, Fausto therefore helping out against hoiduloi in quite a decent manner, it looks like. Fortunate idle time there. Where is Blue therefore? Okay, so far playing it quite a bit carefully in his base. Not really wanting to be making any kind of mistake, I guess. That's also something that we have seen in the previous match by Norwegians. By the top flank, they were also playing quite a bit carefully. So were the Danish, sure, but nonetheless, we may be expecting a bit more action in there, but obviously easy to say from my point of view, right? I'm not fighting here for my country, and maybe facing elimination or whatnot. So therefore we need to be understanding, because it's only best of 3 in the first 2 rounds of the qualification. So basically, like, any kind of mistake is going to be hard punished, because you can be of course losing because of that. But currently we do have therefore 18 archers for grey, 15 for red, 9 versus 8 on the scouties. 1-1, you can say both upgrades on the archers are same for the Portuguese, Effervescente. I'm not entirely certain if I properly mentioned his civilization in there. Oh, and the Dravidian, it's gonna be at the same level. The Dravidian is overall an interesting choice. Obviously the extra wood is quite nice help at the very start. Gonna be making your build order kind of like a bit more thorough. You can see it's not even having, for example, double bit axe upgraded at all. Portuguese is going to be having that already. That's still something that he should be getting. That's something that can be coming back to bite him. Whereas to the top, we're gonna be apparently having also some kind of attempt to maybe have some kind of resolution already. That's going to be there for Orange, the King, with Ethiopian 17. Same amounts as Meuer with Vietnamese, but again, it's gonna be the 18% extra damage, but extra hit points on the other side, as the Scouties are 9 versus 7. And the upgrades are gonna be Lithuanian 1 and 1, and purple is gonna be at only defense but bloodlines. So you can see there are some interesting differences, and of course the massive hill here is something that maybe could have been used a bit more for the right team, but in the end it's gonna be not entirely too terrible either, and they are going to be getting pretty much a victory. Especially if we consider that therefore purple is at this point going to be down to literally 2 scouts. So that's a good opportunity here for Switzerland to get a win. On the bottom, we haven't apparently engaged yet in some big fight. 23 each, and 10 versus like 13, so still slight advantage for the bottom team, but all it can take is one small mistake or simply some kind of hill advantage, and it's gonna be turning it around, because the difference is very small. Can say it now 1 and 1. Bloodline still missing for the Burgundian. Oh, well, they're gonna be missing for Burgundian. Right now realized actually what civilization he is, so therefore he can't be expecting that help. And it really sucks for him. And that's actually even more of a reason for the the team with the Franks, so therefore the Italians, to maybe try to push the fight. Because they are gonna be inherently having an advantage because of the extra hit points. So I'm thinking they are maybe playing a bit too careful there, Italians. It maybe could be going a bit better for them if they try to be a bit more brave. But whatever the case, definitely who is brave here is gonna be Switzerland. And well, they are looking for some further Italian territory that maybe they could be adding to their own. Okay, so seems like that currently that's gonna be how much? 14 versus 15. But hoiduloi unfortunately wasn't able with gggmeuer to really kind of punish the victory, or kind of utilize the victory they got a bit earlier. And they waited long enough for the opponents to basically replenish. So we are effectively where we were, kind of. Whereas on the other side, we are going to be not anywhere too much either, but much more importantly, castle ages are coming in, and the only one who isn't advancing is going to be king as the top flank. Whereas we do have castle already for Pet Star. Frankie Castorio is gonna be also in, and then for the archers here, red is through, he's gonna be getting upgrades momentarily, and grey needs to be waiting half a minute, but he's gonna be somewhat fine as well. I think they can kind of dodge them long enough. That hidden village, I'm thinking he's not even seen him. Yeah, it's almost like impossible to see the outline in there. But all the way to the top, we are gonna be there for pushing back the Switzerland, as Italians, no, especially the Ethiopian, of course, carried here. Yeah, the extra DPS is major advantage, making Ethiopians one of the top civilizations quite easily for the flanks with the archers. They really are great in general. Whereas, well, we do have light calf. We did have plenty of them, so it's making sense. And I'm curious, yep, gonna be getting them also for the Frankie, getting husbandry in there, and of course, like immediately increasing the hit points further, which is again something that the Burgundian is not gonna be having, besides the Cavaliers. But on the scouts, they are gonna be having only 60 against 72. No, that's fairly big difference, of course. Fairly big difference, also. Looks like at the top, we're also gonna be having some serious counter-offensive. Currently, red being a bit careless. 32 versus 31. Then we do have therefore some 16 versus at this point it's getting a bit hairy to compare because there are the knights in there. But all the way to the top, we apparently are gonna be losing, oh, mostly scouts, as it seems like a gggmeuer is going to be punishing right now the, oh, maybe a bit of a greed, because of course the scouts are not gonna be excellent in this. Frankly, even knights are having complications in chasing down some bigger groups of archers if they're gonna be in low enough numbers. But currently you can see hoiduloi is just gonna be trying to utilize the bit of a tankiness of the of the knights that he has. 1 and 2, by the way. It's gonna be the same for the Sicilian, also having the same upgrades. But, well, the crossbowmen are here, but right now also will be ready for a king. So therefore the timing is gonna be again ripe for the Switzerland to again move back into home. Yeah, not gonna be able to really do anything more here. So let's head all the way to the south, where we are gonna be heading entirely into the middle of the battle. So sorry that I'm gonna be entering a bit later, so about 26 minutes maybe from recorded game. Could be interesting to look at, to have some proper numbers from the start. But it looks like it's gonna be quite a bit of a victory for the Italians, but they are still heading back here. I'm thinking with the amount of archers he has, he shouldn't be really that skittish. Like 732 against 72 archers. He's absolutely easily gonna be able to survive and tank the few cavaliers here. Yeah, like, why? They're just like way too careful, Italians here. Like, absolutely seriously, this is a winning position for them. There's no reason to fall back at all. Well, and you can see he's having even thumbring and ballistics. Dravidian has nothing of that. He doesn't have still the economical upgrades, by the way. So they just like giving so much of an opportunity to Switzerland to punish them here. That's a big mistake in them. I'm hoping that it's not gonna be somewhat coming back to bite the Italians. But nonetheless, you're gonna be also having another engagement here to the top, as it was almost like impossible to see on the minimap, but it is apparently on the way with somewhat of a draw, maybe. With the reinforcements, probably victory for Switzerland. They're not gonna be entirely committing anymore, even they can see further reinforcements from blue should be currently helping out in resolving this. Still the same upgrades, nothing really new here. Lithuanian also, by the way, without any kind of relics yet, and he's having very easy 2 of them. 2 relics are very easy for him to collect, then the next ones are gonna be a bit more complicated in general. But looking at the economy, for example, we do have for Italians, 71 is gonna be the biggest for Castori, that's the franc. Then we do have 62 as the best for Switzerland. It's gonna be a same-ish between gggmeuer and Petstar. Hoiduloi is gonna be at 58, 39 only for Makrobean. Yeah, he's having a really low economy in there. So I just wish really they took the advantage here to the bottom, but nonetheless, still right now the Italians are ahead. They still do seem to be at this point in a bit of a stronger position in general. Okay, some 2 TCs for example for gggmeuer to the top, as they're gonna be trying to therefore break through. Not having ballistics, not having thumbring, but having very decent economy upgrades, like really strong ones in there for GG. Ethiopian is going to be way lower, and also not having anything upgraded on the crossbowman extra. As it seems like he's at least trying to get ballistics, same as Makrobean to the south. And we heading into economical heavy blow for Petstar, the Burgundian, whereas right now the 90s. FAUSTO, the Sicilian, is gonna be having somewhat of an okay economical upgrades at 30 minutes of game time. And for the other side, for the Lithuanian, that's somewhat okay as well, just maybe the Boso order would be nice for him to get, and much more importantly, start collecting the damn relics. Had to be the best course of action of them all, to give him some important advantage in the fights, because even just getting 2 relics and getting +2 attack is something that is actually a fairly important game changer. So they shouldn't be really underestimating it too much. You can say it now about 20 against 32 on the archers, 21 versus 17. Should be theoretically somewhat of an okay fight, or probably both sides, because the extra DPS for the Ethiopian is gonna help, but it looks like you're gonna be having some more important battle all the way here to the south. 23 versus 24, then we do have 34 versus 55 archers, so this is gonna be a massive victory, or at least should be, for right now finally the Italians. So in the end it's gonna have to be the opponents to force them into the fight that they should have been taken, I don't know, 10 minutes ago maybe. And well, as you can see, this is gonna be quite a bit of a proper cleanup and like a complete of Switzerland. And now hopefully they're not gonna be hanging back, and they're gonna be going straight for the kill. because there's like no reason after such a battle to be thinking that the opponents are gonna be having like insta same army waiting for them again. Did he get some equal upgrades finally? Nope. Oh well, actually he did, horse collar. Oh, that's an interesting one. I mean, like, it's a effectively wood upgrade as well, just in a bit of a roundabout way. But no. The double bit axe is a bit curiously missing in there. But whatever the case, this is just like really opportunity to push, claim the hill of course here in just a moment, and no, we'll see where it's gonna be leading after, especially considering that Castore and Fausto are already going to be at 100 villages, which is 20 more than Hoiduloi and Petstar on the other side. Yep, Italians are certainly looking like they want to be getting the Arabia here. Yeah, very much looking to possibly get that as all the way to the top. We are going to be therefore heading into apparently also Italian counter-offensive. We do have 29 versus 37. 39 plus about 6, so 36 approximately on the DPS. So somewhat similar. Just of course the hit points are gonna be messing up the things. And 33 versus 31. It's very close. I would just really wish he was getting those damn relics. That's gonna be something he's gonna be probably banging his head against the table about. Because that's really something that could be making in those close battles all kinds of difference. No, but nonetheless, apparently not a thing. And you are doing what here? Just running away? Just running away. It's not gonna be any kind of castle or anything if you thought so. He's just gonna try to vacate the gold so that he's not gonna be getting killed. And apparently, Elefante and Castore are gonna be letting him do that. Not pursuing directly. So where are they gonna be stopping? How many do we have here? 27 Cavaliers. Currently getting Imperial Age from Meuer to the top. Then we getting also Imperial Age from Fausto. And already is right now prepared Effervescente, which is gonna be even bigger problem at this point therefore for the Switzerland. It's gonna be resulting into just like a complete ownage. You can see Brace ready. Yeah, this is gonna hurt a lot. Areas to the top, we haven't seen the engagement yet, even though there is gonna be some raiding attempt. Fausto coming for the gold, no? Should have been thinking better about that. Should be splitting a bit more, kind of like half to the left, half to the right. Improving the pathing of the horses and also preventing some escapes. As it looks like it, therefore to the top we are gonna be having defensive castle, sure. Guess that's cool, but it's gonna be also time to, at this point, look into the havoc in Petstar's base. That's looking like 15 villages maybe dead. Okay, 20 villages dead at minimum. Yeah, he's down to only 48. His teammate in the pocket, hoiduloi, is gonna be at 90, but 120 for Castore the Frank, 92 for Fausto, which is a bit lower, but the Frank is gonna be able to carry, and you can see already does have a trickle of units all the way here somewhere to the top. And also having the primary, rather, group that's gonna be trying to break through into Petstar from a bit of a different direction. You can just gonna choose which to break through first. It's gonna be quite a bit effective with all of them. But you're gonna be there for, already getting even into red to teach him what can actually happen here. But nonetheless, green already having to be heading back, as he did have some small raid, but that's gonna be pretty much it for the time being at least. It's kind of fun how they're waiting for the huge battles, really. Yeah, you can evidently see how they want to be not messing up in any kind of way. Basically both teams are trying to play really carefully. Both Switzerland C and Italy C getting some economical upgrades. For example, Effervescente is getting heavy plow. Then classic Imperial Age upgrades for Fausto and Cavalry. Save goes for Castore. Arbalest for King. Pikeman, for example, for Meuer. Okay. No. I guess he's gonna be actually needing that very soon, it looks to me. Nothing so far here. That's gonna be some very interesting raiding by Castore. Seems maybe a bit random, but that's the trickle that we have seen through the middle of the map. And you can see he's getting already quite a few kills with blue. Not entirely ready to do anything with that, because he is right about now breaching into the orange base. As you can see, it's gonna be even a castle, and this is actually fairly sudden. No, because King hasn't lost the army, he's still having all of it. But he is... here. He was off position. So that's why actually it was so easy for blue to be getting through his base even faster than I even thought that it's going to be. But we also need to be looking to the south, because obviously since grey base was abandoned in very similar way as it was for King, then it was just like easy pickings. and therefore complete destruction. So it looks like the Italians are gonna be very close to a possible success here, as let's therefore head into engagement here, where the Arbalets are trying to deal with the pesky cavaliers, and they should be able to do so. Whereas, well, green though is gonna be completely murdering. Right now the detachment for purple, it wasn't the whole army, definitely not. He's still gonna be fighting elsewhere. So it looks like this is gonna be in the end quite a bit of a victory then for Switzerland. Whereas on the other side we do see, yeah, much better right now results for Italians, as it's gonna be also the well-timed and needed switch for Meuer into the possible halberdiers, as he does have the upgrade already on the way. Oh, but economically Italians are much better off. You looked at 300s in there. As closest for the Switzerland is gonna be 98 for Meuer, and that's an archer civ. Cavalry civilizations are dropped to 70 and 50 villages, which is not gonna be able to replace the losses at all. So while this is maybe looking a bit... No, this is not looking cool anymore for blue, but while it was maybe looking a bit cool here in the middle, it's gonna be getting worse very quickly, as we do have paladins fully upgraded for the Frank, and yeah, well, while we do have Imperial Age for Pet Star, he's not even able, of course, with the damaged economy, to get the discounted paladins. You can see, of course, Blast Furnace is gonna be also missing for him, so this is gonna be just a turn around, and the GG is gonna have to be called, and therefore the victory for Italy C is going to be actually achieved. Well done. Frankly, I'm thinking they could have been maybe even getting this earlier. I'm really holding that Elefante and Castori were having very good positions in the early feudal age, and they could have utilized them way more. They were playing a bit more carefully and basically waited until the opponent committed to the fight and basically gave them the green light to go forward instead of taking it themselves. So they should have been a bit more active in the game, but nonetheless they did get the victory in the end anyway, and therefore there is 1 on the Italy C scoreboard. Again, this was the second game already, so I don't have even a map draft, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen now, if it's already over or if there's gonna be further, or rather I know, but I'm not gonna be spoiling it for you, because I have seen the other stream on AoE Italia, so I know who won the first game. Hoping to maybe do the recorded game of that somewhere, but it wasn't on .NET, so probably gonna be having to wait until it's gonna be posted somewhere. But let's therefore have a look at some upgrades, and then, well, possible game number 3, or the end of the match. Okay, so let's have a look therefore on the Willies. We have just mentioned that. On the armies, logically, it's gonna be following still 34 knights for hoiduloi, but only knights, so they're not gonna be able to do too much. You can say it now, barely cavaliers therefore freshly. And again, just like the big mistake of not collecting the relics, literally 0 relics for him as a Lithuanian. It's a big mistake on his part, unfortunately. But therefore, that's gonna be hoiduloi with the upgrades, somewhat not terrible, but interesting. He doesn't have boso, for example, even though he does have the others, especially the second farm. Usually you're gonna be having, of course, boso instead of the second farm, or like in opposite direction. Bonjour. For the teal, Burgundian, he's gonna be having decent upgrades. Good that he has, considering, of course, the discount as well on top of it. Grey is probably not gonna be having too much fun. Yeah, just very interesting, only having double farms, and he is an archer civilization. Never got even double bit axe, and he was for a long time in the feudal age playing without any ups whatsoever. That's also not entirely ideal as Vietnamese. No, good echo. Very good upgrades on his part, frankly. And for the opposing team, Ethiopian is gonna be somewhat, frankly, okay. This is not entirely terrible. Maybe the gold mining could have been also there. And at 43 minutes, you could definitely think about something like a hand card. But for the archers, as long as he was keeping the archers, he was somewhat alright. Sicilian, that's a good boom. And also fully upgraded, of course, horses. On top of it, was he having Hauberg? Yeah. There's the Hauberg. And where's the castle then? That's the second already. There you are. Oh, there. There's the castle. That didn't used to be there. That came after hoiduloi went for the raid in here. Very good play by Castori. It was a good Frank by him. Full upgrades. It was a very good Frank by him. And also by Elefante, Effervescente. There was a good couple here to the bottom. They were having some good game. Also excellent eco upgrades in general. And even the archer ones as well. Missing just literally the last arch armor. And there were some upgrades at the end. No, the last arch armor was getting research. Same as crop rotation and coinage. So let's have a look into post-game. And then I wanted to be looking at one of the fights at about 23 minutes. And then we're gonna be heading, maybe, into the next game if it's gonna be still available. Okay, so what do we have here? No, Castori in the end getting... No, because he's simply getting the excellent economy and therefore even technologies. For example, the Paladins are plenty points, but the kills are gonna be Effervescentes. Though, doesn't seem like that anybody was lagging behind too much. And you can see gggmeuer was in a good shape here. King and Makrobean weren't entirely too high. I mean, like, Makrobean, we do know why. King is maybe surprising, considering he was defending there and holding even on his own for some time. So, guess kind of careful play by hoiduloi with Meuer. No, and on the echoes, therefore King and Meuer, that's gonna be 5,000, 8, 9, and 4. So it's gonna be like 13,000 more for Meuer. That's a solid difference at 43 minutes. Makrobean versus Elefante is gonna be maybe even bigger. 8.5 therefore, and what is it? 10.5. 8.5 at 10.5, it's gonna be 19. And we do have about 2, so about like 21,000 resources more for Effervescente. Yep, that's pretty huge. Now from the pockets, Castori, that was bottom, so therefore against hoiduloi, if I remember correctly. Or... no, Pet Star was to the bottom. Yeah, Castori versus... wait, what? At this point I want to be actually getting back, because you're gonna be waiting for the user interface for a long time, so I'm just trying to remember how it was. Yeah, I think hoiduloi was through top, so Pet Star versus Castori. That's going to be 6.5. 6, let's say. 11, 12. 14,500 more for Castor than Pet Star. And hoiduloi is going to be with FAUSTO, which is going to be 5.5. 7.5. 8.5. And 2.5. So it's going to be like 11,000 resources more for FAUSTO and for hoiduloi. The economy really did cover. And carry, much more importantly, Italy C here. That's a good performance. Good upgrades for Meuer, but in the end wasn't enough to save him. Of course, 27 for Castori. And he was actually having... wow, look at that. He was actually having... he was the only one who got somewhere deeper with even his attacks and raids. That's also where he got plenty points in the technology, because this is 300 points above everybody else easily. Just right there. That's where he's getting the score as well. But otherwise, yeah, well, the Imperial Age upgrades are fairly expensive, and I guess GG. Okay, let's wait about now. Try to get the effort to that moment, if we can, to show the fight a bit better, because it was an important battle, and well, if you do have the opportunity. But now, please, game start working for me. That would be really nice. Should be having a bit of time anyway, because usually to start the 4v4s is taken quite a bit longer. It was quick. It was unusually quick based on our experience from earlier. So in about like 10 minutes, I think it was like 23 minutes or how much was the fight somewhere here to the south. Having the carpets in the middle of the field here. I mean, like at least they can be taking some break. And it's going to be proper comfortable. They can be feeling like lords for at least a moment. The farmers. Okay, so getting closer. Trying to remember if it was the very first fight or not. Probably was. Okay, I don't think this is yet it. Because the fight was somewhere here. To the top, okay, we have seen this. Okay, right now they're gonna be heading back, and yeah, in a moment they're gonna be there for having the fight. Okay, 34 versus 38, and you're gonna be having 13 versus currently 14 approximately. Gonna the upgrades 1 and 2, obviously the missing bloodlines are gonna be a huge problem here. 23, 32, you're gonna be having 2 and 1 on the archers. Yeah. I can say it now, Red is going to be having already Tumbling and Ballistics. On the other side, Dravidian doesn't have anything like that, so that's also quite a bit of a huge help on top of it as well. Now this is, for example, like also one of the opportunities where he could have pushed forward very easily. He's having like 10 more archers, better upgrades, but yeah, well, he probably just kind of didn't know that. Didn't notice how they were shooting and that they weren't entirely accurate in my opinion. But all the way to the top, there's gonna be also this. We also haven't seen that properly from the start, so let's maybe do that as well. And then we're gonna be heading. And look, here there is the kill number 3 still. Okay, so what do we have here? We're gonna be having hill advantage first and foremost. 11 versus 21. Then we do have about 11 for purple and 9 for green. So this should be a fairly actually okay fight, especially since, yeah, they were forcing right now Switzerland off the hill. And the Ethiopian obviously gonna be having still the extra DPS, even though he doesn't have any further upgrades. Vietnamese on the other hand, just gonna be having the extra HP. No, and on the cavalry we have 1 and 2, and it's gonna be, I think, and was the same for the Sicilians. So yeah, there wasn't really any kind of really huge difference in that. No, but so this was just like the couple of the fights I wanted to be showing properly, because we were entirely catching them at and from their inception, so that you can see how it all proceeded properly. So it's gonna be already all of that. GG. I think we have seen the rest of it sufficiently.